In 1996, I was the first assistant manager of the Lumiere Theater in San Francisco. I'd only recently become the first assistant manager. I'd been the second assistant manager, but the first assistant manager, Tim, who was really a filmmaker, had got a job at a camera shop, so he was out. Right, and everyone at the Lumiere was trying to do something else. We were writers, artists, students, etc. So no one works at a movie theater because they want to work at a movie theater. It's just because that's what you need to do, right? So I had moved to San Francisco to be an actor. And while I was waiting for my acting career to take off, I got a job at the Lumiere, and I started off at the as a ticket taker. Right now, the ticket taker, it's a minimum wage job. It's 4.25, which at that time in San Francisco was really criminal wage to be paid, given how expensive the city was. But again, this wasn't anybody's primary job. This was most people's, second or third job. So I worked as ticket taker for a little while. Then I moved to concessions, right? And I was the cashier for the concession stand. That's where I learned about pulling sodas. I changed a lot of money. I sold red vines. I learned about candy inventory management. From there, I went to the box office, learned how to sell tickets. We had one of those old school ticket machines where you had to punch the button really hard, and like an admit one ticket would come out like you get at the carnival. Did that for a little while, and then I was ready to move to the next thing, right? Now, before you move into the management ranks at a movie theater like this, the last place you stop is popcorn, right? Now, a lot of people know that theaters don't make a lot of money on ticket sales, which is for the most part true. But what most people don't know is that the popcorn really is the economic engine for the whole theater. Right, so it's a very important role. And John, the manager, in my first popcorn training session, made sure to let me know that the gravest sin in movie theater management is to run out of popcorn. He told me in no uncertain terms, if anyone from the home office were to come into the lobby and we had a room full of people and we didn't have popcorn in the machine, we were all getting fired. Right? Now, the next thing I learned in popcorn training was everything about the machine. Right, I learned how you make the popcorn, how's the machine put together, where does the machine come from, how to clean it, how to do maintenance, simple maintenance anyway, how to keep the popcorn hot, how not to burn the popcorn, everything about the machine. And then we moved to butter, right? We used 100% butter at the Lumiere, which made us different than most of the theaters in San Francisco. It wasn't butter flavoring. We didn't have preservatives. This was like 100% real butter. Probably the most expensive thing at the concession stand on a per ounce basis. And it was so expensive, in fact, that the dispenser faced back towards us. So a Lumiere employee had to be the one to put butter on the popcorn. Customers couldn't reach the butter even if they wanted to, right? And this led to what I refer to often as the butter paradox, right? You can train someone to make popcorn, and you can train someone to put popcorn in bags and do it efficiently. But you can never train someone. It's like putting soldiers on the battlefield for the first time. You can't train someone to know how much butter someone wants on their popcorn when they ask for extra butter. It's just, you have to see them, and you have to look into their eyes and try to see into their soul, and you're really trying to perceive their aura, right? Their butter aura, and you have to determine how much butter to them is extra butter, right? So two different people come up, they both want extra butter. I'll tell you right now, it's not the same amount of butter, right? Some people, extra butter is like, fill the bag up like a third, hit it with the squirt, another third, hit it a couple squirts, cap it off, do 4 squirts on top, right? The next person might be like, just go halfway, let's do 4 squirts. Bring it all the way up, let's do 5. Some people might be like, put a little butter just in the bag, right? And then they can feel the heat of the melted butter on their hand through the bag. And then let's fill it most of the way up and do like 5 squirts, pack it up, cover it up and do like 6, right? And you don't have time to have that dialogue. You just have to see them and know how much butter is extra butter, because you got to put it on the popcorn and get them through the line, right? So I got to be pretty good at it. It's kind of like it's instinct, it's intuition. It must be like using the force, I imagine. So John was a little hesitant to move me up into management, given my work at the butter popcorn station, but he did. He gave me an opportunity, and so that's why I found myself on this particular night. It's a Saturday night. Theater was full of people, about 500 people. And given my extensive background working all areas of the theater, my understanding of popcorn, my intuition around the butter, it came as quite a shock when Keith, the concession stand person, called me up in the office and said, "Dude, we're out of popcorn." Panic washed over me, as you can imagine. I raced down the stairs. I went to the area, And I found out pretty quickly, at least it wasn't our fault, right? The machine had broken. There's a piece in the machine that goes around like this, and it keeps the popcorn from sticking to the bottom of the kettle and burning. And that piece had broken. So all the popcorn was coming out like half burnt. We were never going to make it through the night. Fortunately, my training kicked in, and my training had been pretty extensive. So I called Jan, who worked at the Clay Theater. It was another one of our theaters about 8 blocks away. Jan was a friend of mine. She was the manager there. Jan was actually a poet and a really solid drinker, and also drove a Vespa all around town. So she's like my personal hero. So I was like, Jan, I'm out of popcorn. Long silence. She's like, Frank, how much time do you have? So I got 40 minutes before this set of shows lets out and the next set of shows comes in. Another silence. And she's like, all right, I can do it. I'm going to start popping right now. And in 30 minutes, I'm putting the popcorn in a cab and I'm going to send it over to you. I hang up, talk to my staff, tell them what the plan is. They don't care. They're making minimum wage, right? They couldn't care less if we get the popcorn or not. Jonathan, the popcorn guy, was like, if it doesn't come on time, can I go home? Keith, who was a concession stand person, was busy cutting straws into different lengths, which he was then going to tape together to make like a Zamfir kind of flute out of it, right? In any event, that's where we were with him, but the popcorn came miraculously right on time. Jonathan ran out. He got the bags of popcorn. They were 2 big-ass black plastic trash bags full of popcorn. He got them in, got them behind the counter. We got the popcorn in the machines without anybody seeing it. It's not that it's unsanitary to put popcorn in a trash bag. It's just unsavory. No one wants to eat popcorn that they saw come out of a black plastic trash bag. Day was saved. We did it. And as I was standing there later with Keith, he was closing with me, reflecting on the day. I felt a deep sense of accomplishment as I watched Keith take his flute that he had made and like a Fairman trail of the Clay's popcorn along the edge of the wall. And he played his flute and managed to charm a family of 3 mice out of the wall that separated us from the restaurant next door. Thank you.